Huh? The economy! Mister, you get some money. You also get some money. And you can have some money. And you can have some money. You can all have some money. Finally, some peace. Not again.
Phil by the Econ Guy. Phil by the Econ Guy. Phil by the Econ Guy.
Econ rules.
Phil by the Econ Guy.
Money is in the economy.
Phil by the Econ Guy. Phil
T minus 7 seconds.
Phil by the Econ Guy.
See this bag filled with water? Well, the bag represents the economy, and the water within represents GDP, gross domestic product, which we'll get into, but for right now what you need to know is it's the money that's being spent in the economy. Now, GDP, you want to rise. You definitely don't want it to leak out. But what if you stab it? And the water leaks out. Now, with the water leaking, GDP is decreasing, which is bad. So how would we fix this leak? Well, you could plug up the water, but that'd take a lot of time. A lot of years. But what if there's a quicker option? What if you had a lot more money, or in this case water, to go ahead and fill up the economy? Now, it may still leak out, but the GDP begins to rise. So it's still high, even when it's leaking out. Now if you keep putting in more and more water, the GDP will rise up. Sounds pretty good. Well, that's what the government did in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. COVID is the knife, and as I said earlier, the water is the GDP. They gave out trillions of dollars in stimulus to Americans. Why is it called stimulus? Because it stimulates the economy. Anyway, all this money in the economy meant that we didn't have to deal with the effects of the leak as much. It was still a problem, but while we fix it, you can live life as normal. Consider the following. With so much more money put in the economy, more people were spending, which stimulated the economy, but also caused inflation. What's inflation? Well, imagine you just bought a new bike. It's pretty cool, but everyone else also wants to buy a new bike. Well, the bike store only has so many bikes, a low supply. So, to low demand, the bike store owner increases the price, which means that your money is now worth less than it was before, and you can't buy as many bikes. That's happening all across the economy, and soon everything costs more than it did before. That's inflation. Mail for me from the US government. What is it? A whole lot of money. Spend on necessities? Yeah, okay, but something for myself won't hurt. Alright. Oh shoot, I forgot dinner. Well, luckily I still have no money. No! Gross domestic product, or GDP, measures the monetary value of all final goods and services. That means anything sold within a year, whether that new bike, an Uber ride, or even the bag from the start of the episode, all go into the total GDP. The exceptions are intermediate goods, things that make things to be sold, like wheels on a bike. If they are sold to bike makers to make a bike to sell, that doesn't get counted towards GDP. But if that tire was bought by a bike owner who uses it for themselves, that does get counted toward GDP. GDP is fairly complex, and we could have a whole episode on it, but for now, that's what you need to know. The COVID pandemic was worldwide. But the U.S. spent the most on recovery through stimulus, a total of $1.9 trillion. While the U.S. recovered a lot quicker than other countries, it came with the baggage of inflation. Other countries that didn't recover with stimulus, or not nearly as much as the US, suffered longer, but eventually recovered without the high inflation.
Well, so what was the best decision? Sadly, there isn't a clear answer. Economists debate on whether the stimulus was good or bad. A prevailing argument is that the stimulus was a good idea, but $1.9 trillion was a little bit too high of a price tag. Some economists say that if we spent around $500 billion and targeted the money to those in need, we would have lessened the impact of COVID as well as not affecting inflation nearly as much. Wait, so the stimulus stimulates the economy, which raises GDP, but the stimulus also causes inflation when there's too much, which can shrink GDP.
The economy is like a balancing act. You want it to grow, not too fast, not too slow, otherwise you might fall!
Which causes recessions, but that's for another time. Thank you all for being here with me today, but that's the end of our show. Until next time.
Phil by the Econ Guy.
Econ rules.
Phil by the Econ Guy.